Hello, again. This is part 3 of the Sin of Homosexuality. I'm reading today, in this one I'm reading another story, and I'm not going to read the entire story, but this is probably a lesser known story about sodomy. It's in Judges 19. And it's real similar, if you listen to it, it's real similar to what happened with Lot in Genesis 19. It's Sodom. It's real similar if you listen to it. It's got a man that has a concubine. He goes to a city in Gibeah, a Benjamite city. He goes because he doesn't want to stop in a heathen city, which was Jebus. He was going by the town of Jebus, which was Jerusalem, was still under Jebusite control, and he didn't want to go there. He said, "I'm not going to go there. We're going to go to a Jewish city, so that when the sun goes down, they end up getting into Gibeah, and they have nowhere to sleep." They have, I believe he had some animals with him. He had some flock animals with him, and his concubine, and he's in the city. He has nowhere to sleep. He has nowhere to stay, and everything. And an old man shows up, sees him, and he says, "I'll take care of your animals and you and everybody. Just don't. It's like everything, but just I don't want you to stay out inside the street. Here, I'll take you into my house and let you stay for the night, and then you can go on your way tomorrow." And they go in and they start to enjoy it. They start to eat and drink and and take it easy. But this is what happened. Here's what, and then I'll pick it up here. Judges 19:22. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, sons of the devil, beset their house round about. Here we go again with the surrounding the house stuff, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, "Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know them." Here we go again, to know them. That's the same term used by Adam, knew his wife, and that the Sodomites used to the angels. That's a sexual term. They want to have sex with that man, the Levite, that come into that old man's house. They want to have sex with him. They're saying, "Bring him out here so we can have sex with him." Boy. I'm just going to tell you, this story doesn't end exactly the same as the other one. Now, the other one had a lot of tragedy in it with what happened with Lot, but they didn't get. But in that case, the little Sodomites didn't get a chance to have sex with nobody. In this case, they're going to. Now, I told you that Lot was offered up as $2. This old man does the same thing. And the man, the master of the house, is the old man, went out unto them, and said unto them, "Nay, my brethren." He's doing the same thing, calling them brethren, calling these pervert brethren. I'd have come out there with a sword or something and started killing them people. I'd have sliced them. You come back in these days. This is the Old Testament. I wouldn't have come out there and said, "Nay, my brothers, please don't do this." I'd have come out there, I'd have maybe said something like this. I got a couple of swords or something and said, "Okay, hold it just a minute. I'll be out in just a minute." I'd come out there, whoever's at the door, we got a good thrust with a sword. And whoever I could, shut the door and said, "Anybody want to come in here? Let's do it. I'll slice every one of you up." I'd have given some of the other ones a sword that were there, and I'd said, "Let's slice them. You start coming in here, you're going to be burnt. You're going to get killed." I wouldn't have played around with that junk. I'm not going to send some man outside for you to have sex with him, or somebody in my family. What's wrong with these people? He says, "Nay, my brethren, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house. Do not this follow." Now he's following almost the same exact pattern as Lot did. The same, almost exactly the same. But here, behold, here's my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. Giving your daughter and a concubine, giving these people over to these people, is wicked. No, don't have sex with a man, but no, here, take these girls. Take my daughter and this concubine. Don't do a vile thing of having sex with this man, but take the girls. It's wicked either way. It's perverted either way. Instead of committing sodomy, you're committing fornication. Talk about wicked. Both those guys. And then if you look at the story, you see the Levite don't say anything. It's kind of like he's like, I ain't gonna get involved. I don't want to get raped by these guys. Go ahead, girl. Take it. Come on. Take the fall for me. But again, I already said, look, listen to what the Sodomites did. Beat at the door, past the house. Here we go with the militant side of them. You better send a man out here, or we'll do something, or we're gonna do something. But the men would not hearken to him, and so the men took his concubine. Now they still wanted men. The Sodomites wanted them in Genesis 19 too. They said, we don't want those girls. We want a man. We want those men. You talk about perverts. But in this case, it seems like these men are more what you would call a bisexual. Because it says right here, but verse 25, but the men would not hearken to him. So the men took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. So they more likely they had sex with her. Probably who knows how many? Who knows? They probably sodomized her and fornicated with her and everything all night. And just think about it. You had to heard her screams all night. I don't know where they took her. I don't know. They made it right there in front of the house, and they could have easily heard her screaming and hollering, calling for somebody in the city to help her. And all the night, nobody helped her. And these perverts abused her, mutilated her, raped her, and sodomized her all night. That's how wicked a sodomite is. I know that the Levite and the old man and the people of the city are messed up too and wicked for not doing anything and being such wusses. But this is about the sin of homosexuality, so I'm talking about the sodomites here. I know you say, well, they're bisexual. They're the same thing. They're just as messed up. You think a bisexual is special? Well, they're different, you know. They're like anything. It's like they're still wicked and perverts. These little perverts here took her and raped her and abused her all night, just constantly took turns at her. And then when it started to get day, they said, get out of here. You know, we're done. Get out of here. And then she dies. The story, she dies. She tries to crawl back. She tries to crawl back into the house and dies at the door, at the threshold of the door. But what's so funny is it's just like, but then when the Levite shows up, it seems like when he see him come out, he just says, "Up, let's go." It's almost like nothing happened. To him, it's like nothing happened. Well, it's over. Let's just put it behind us. She's dead by this time. When he tries to go, she's already dead. He cuts her into pieces and sends her throughout the land of Israel. And he goes, if the story continues, where he goes to a general assembly and declares what happened, and they send men to Benjamin to the city and demand that they get the people that committed this act and deliver them so they can be put to death. And the Benjamites don't, but instead mount up an army and say, we're going to fight, and then decide to fight Israel over this, fight the other tribes. And they fight it a few times. Benjamin wins, but eventually Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, is eventually wiped out to only 600 men. They kill everybody. They end up almost wiping the whole tribe out over this. But by the way, I'm just saying, do you see anything? You see God saying how great sodomy is, and how they were born that way, and how it's all right, and there's nothing really that wrong with it, and it's normal, and it's honorable to be that way. You don't see that. You don't see God praising. You don't see anything where God finds another man. When it talks about God made them male and female, and a man shall leave his mother and father and go to and cleave to his husband. Does it say, and the man and his husband will be one flesh? It doesn't say that. It says, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. And these instances of sodomy always are violent, and they end up in catastrophe. There's nothing glorious about it, and you can see here, this is a rebuke of it. You don't see it being praised here. It's being rebuked, and it's being shown how perverted and wicked it is. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of it. God said it was an abomination in Leviticus 18. And right here, it ends up being a direct result of almost an entire tribe being wiped out. So you can't sit around here, I'm not done yet, but you can't sit around here telling me how sodomy's alright. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. God was gay too. Try to say Jesus was gay and everybody else was gay. You know, they try to make it sound like it's alright by saying that some great Bible heroes were gay, which is a total lie.